Greetings, family, wholeness and balance. One love. Jesse Tree here, offering you a bunch of peace, a bunch of love. Hoping you're finding it in these trying times and these days we are in collectively. It's really a high vibe time where things are changing, and I think overall it's going to be for the better. I truly believe the universe is moving all things towards higher states of order, and that crisis usually is what precipitates change. So I wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit with you about the precautionary principle of permaculture and sort of the bad news, good news scenario that I see these days. Kind of best of both worlds. So, first of all, the precautionary principle is going into the whole thing of like, if we build our buildings out of, sustainably resourced ecological materials, if we do our food forest installations and carbon sequestration, etc., creating food and health, if we explore alternative technologies, etc., then even if this was kind of with reference to peak oil, even if peak oil, and this was years ago, peak oil's now come and gone. If peak oil is not a thing, then this would still at least offset and give us resiliency tools, you know. So that's where we're at right now, I feel collectively, and that most of us have pitched our lives completely into the way of the system, and the system is built on control and thereby death. Nature and things in life thrive in a atmosphere of freedom. So, we're in a place right now where there's this control and this, urging from our commander-in-chief or whatever that guy is, that that we curtail, give up our freedoms for security. First of all, I want to mention Ben Franklin, if you all will remember. Not that I'm a huge fan of him, but he said, if we give up our freedoms for security, we deserve neither. So I would say that to, Mr. Biden. But, that whole thing aside, there's these control artifices that are coming in with respect to our health, and the health of the whole world. And I feel like we're in a time where we have to, take ownership of our sovereignty and thereby take ownership of the care and stewardship of the earth and all of the beings on it as beings of higher consciousness. And so, I think that the controllers, so to speak, have some plans in store for us. Sorry, my dog is smart and opens the door. Psycho. And so, I think this winter could potentially be a rough one. And so that's why I wanted to mention the precautionary principle. I want to urge people to have your things in order. Have a way to have some backup food. Have a way to have backup heat. Have a way to build your business or make money alternatively than through social media. And I'm predicating this on, what has been showing up and what I understand is sort of plan, is that they will stage a food shortage. There's no actual shortage of food, but they have been paying farmers and ranchers to, burn their stuff that they've grown. There's things like that. We are very open to a cyber attack. Since, everyone went online last year, this has kind of opened up through networking, as I understand it, the potential to knock out the grid, or like we had our little Facebook, Instagram, went down for a day, You know, this, imagine if it went down for months, and what if it was all kind of staged and controlled? I don't like to gravitate towards conspiracy thinking. I mean, I understand truly that there are people out there that are conspiring, for their benefit and not necessarily ours. And you better believe, you know, these corporate entities and political entities have an agenda, multi-generational. If you want to know more about it, you can check out, you know, Agenda 21, the UN Agenda 21, and the one they created after that. These things are very real. You can check out the Georgia Guidestones. You can check out Bohemian Grove. If you don't believe me as to the realness of the collusion that's going on out there, it's kind of an old story. A lot of people know about this. And if you don't know about it by now, get in the know. Just realize, that you care about your family. The people care about your family and your community. Political entities care about their longevity, their continuance, and their agenda, So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, I think we're open to potential power grid down and food shortages. And so I want my people to be protected out there. Get yourself some food shortages. Hit me up on some Purium if you would like to have some high quality superfood foods that are shelf stable, long lasting. Get yourself a big bag of beans. Find a way to collect some rainwater or some snow water. Start thinking in terms of actually living on the land. And this is kind of what I think is the hidden potential of this in these times, is in this regaining of our sovereignty. Also, this goes to health, and we'll go into that in a minute. But we need to start reimagining and re-envisioning our society to be something that's not only sustainable, but something that can be lasting. In the Native American sense of 7 generations and beyond, we want to watch out. We want to be accountable for our great, however many great grandchildren's down the line. Infinitely, we want to secure their well-being, and we forget that our monetary abundance is our biological abundance. So the hidden potential in all these times is something that I've been chanting for a long time. I think we should start growing victory gardens again. I think we should start, taking food sovereignty back into our own hands. I think we should start doing, community food forests and community farms, and make foodscapes in our cities, and make free food available for all. We're the only being that pays to live on this planet, pays for our food and pays for our shelter. What if we could take this time to re-envision our economics to be aligned with natural systems and to be aligned with human psychological and spiritual needs, to be, in this high vibration, a time we could be having right now, a time that we can envision and create through our imagination and our work would be, a sustainable culture. I shared a little while ago a vision of what if we bought like Superfund sites or just acreage in cities that was like, sort of cheap and off to the sides, and we bioremediated them, created food forests, made small, tiny home, cob dwellings, and had community and solar panels and stuff. Have it all be efficient, ecological, and in empowering people so that they know how to build their house, so they know how to grow their food, how to have their basic needs covered. They did this interesting study in Canada, where they liquidated money from social programs like, battered women and children, and food stamps, and I forget what all. but they gave everyone a base salary. Everyone got like $60,000 a year. They saw all the social markers went up. Crime went down. People started going to school more. People were creating businesses. When we have our needs covered, then we can be creative and do good things. But otherwise, we're strapped and we're scrapping, right? So I think this could be the end of that. I think we could have the victimhood of being disempowered from our most basic needs and our first most basic connection with the earth dissolved through what's going on in these times, and that we can then take proper care, ecological care of the planet for the further generations. So, and it dovetails into our health. People are, that's another thing that could be, a predicament this year on whether or not you got the juice, or whether or not, you're just on a standard American diet, whether or not you're taking real good health care measures, good, giving yourself good food, sleep, meditating, exercising, things that a lot of people put aside for their economic needs. What if we put in this time, we were able to put our energy more into our most precious resource, which is ourselves, and quit externalizing all our happiness, internalize our self-development, and grow into something more that we can offer to the community and share through our growth. So I think that's what's up. I think in the times to come, we're really going to have to be practiced at going into our heart center and coming into the place of a loving vibration, and realizing that we're always in this ability to choose between love and fear. And right now, there's a lot of fear being promulgated. I know a lot of people who took the juice because of fear, whether it was fear of needing more money, or fear of the disease, or all the different things that one could fear. But that fear vibration lowers your immunity. It lowers your mental functioning. When you're in this vibration of love, when you practice being centered in your heart and in a loving vibration, then you have nothing to fear. Then that's exactly the most potent and dangerous thing to the social architects and controllers who are creating this negative vibration on the planet of pollution, of separation, of control. And we can grow back into our divine aspects as human beings on the earth by focusing our mind away. All these things only have power because we give it to them. If we take our energy away from that and put it into what we want to create in the world, just start watching permaculture videos and herbalism videos, and whatever inspires you, skateboarding, whatever it is. Start putting your music, start putting your love into the world, and utilize this time to prepare. Get yourself some supplies, in the precautionary principle. If you've got that covered, and nothing happens, no problem. But if something happens and you're prepared, then there's no problem. So let's keep, and if we can keep, the more of us we can keep sane and centered and healthy and strong through any challenges, because just the changes that have happened to our economy alone in the last couple years is profound, So think about the economics of your ability to create, that it's infinite, and that nature also is an infinitely creating machine. And so we can regain our strength and sovereignty through our inner resources and the resources of nature. So that's all I wanted to share. I hope you got something from this. Sending you tons of love today. Hit me up if you'd like some Purium, or if you'd like to get a book on wildcrafting and permaculture, need some herbs to bolster your health, or have any other things I can help you with. Want to offer my community much strength in this time, much wholeness, and tons of love. So be well, people.